Now you be a leader filled with might, cause we're awakened. You won't catch us sleeping through the fight in life. We're all eyes open, showing our inside and light so...
At Awakened Radio Network, we're all about success. We know that working together is the perfect way for all of us to live the success lifestyle. That's what it is. It's a lifestyle. And to help our listeners move into 2014 knowing that they can live this life, we're opening up our airwaves to some of the best lifestyle teachers anywhere in the world. A day-long event where you, as the speaker, are spotlighted by our station manager, Donna Devane, the Barefoot Guru, who knows how to guide you to your best sharing. Check out our website and get all the details at awakenedradio.net. Look on the tab where it says Success 2014. Perhaps you and your message would be perfect for our December 1st, 2013 speaker event, where we give people the tools to do more than wish. We empower them to live success. I'd like to invite you to add Awakened Radio to your Skype or email Donna Devane at awakenedradio@gmail.com to find out more about this 9-hour speaker event. Let Donna Devane help you share your message of healing, personal empowerment, success, whatever it is that you're passionate about. This is the perfect opportunity for you to share with our listeners all around the world, December 1st, 2013, where we help people to do more than wish. We're going to give them the tools to live success. Join us, Awakened Radio at awakenedradio.net.
Welcome to Simply Conversations. I'm your host, Rob Ragazine. The show airs every Sunday at 9 p.m. East, 8 Central. Each week we have a new conversation exploring the life of someone who's listening to the wisdom within their hearts. Join us as we open the door for these uplifting and courageous people. Their work has helped to transform their lives, and it ultimately helps to support, heal, and grow their communities. Listen to our discussion and be inspired. Feel free to take part in our chat room or on the phone. Ask questions and chat with our guests. This show is brought to you by simplyconversations.com. Welcome to Simply Conversations. I'm Rob Ragazine. Thanks for joining us. It's November 10th, 2013. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Please join us in the chat room at awakenedradio.net and click on the live chat tab, or join us on the air by adding Awakened Radio to your Skype or dialing 334-649-7204. This week we're talking with Steve Rosen, known as Sergeant Steve, who's a fitness advocate, trainer, and author. After undergoing dramatic health issues and transformation, Steve now channels his energy to continue to help himself and others to make their own life-changing transformations. So join us tonight with Steve. I want to welcome Steve tonight for joining us. I know it takes a lot of courage to dive into radio, so thank you, Steve, for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Steve, let's dive right in and talk about how you started on your fitness quest.
Well, my fitness quest began, it was about 2 in the morning on I want to say a Saturday night, and I was sitting on my couch, and I had a belly full of beer and pizza rolls and you name it, and an infomercial came on for that P90X program, which is the home fitness program done by Tony Horton, and I had seen the commercial, just time after time after time, and have been thinking about it for a few years, and for some reason it clicked. I knew I was ready for a change. I was tired of sitting on my couch with a belly full of beer and pizza rolls and tired of feeling lousy. So I ran in the bedroom and woke my wife up at 2 in the morning and said, "Hey, honey, we're getting P90X." And she pretty much told me to be quiet, and she went back to sleep. A couple days later, we actually purchased it, and I began working out, eating healthy because of that program. So that's what began my own journey.
But you might have been hearing from others, Steve. Now, isn't that true? Someone might have been saying something like, "Don't you feel down?" or "Don't you feel pretty bad with the way you're eating?" or something. Some comments must have got to you before that commercial.
Absolutely not. Actually, nobody really knew. I mean, there was nobody who said anything. My wife, she didn't think anything of it. We were both kind of doing the same thing. So at that point, it was pretty much just between me and myself in the mirror. The bottom line was I woke up every day and I felt awful. I just did not feel good. I didn't have energy. When I looked down, I couldn't see my toes because I had this big belly in front of me, and I just didn't feel good. But most of my peers, they didn't really know. They just they just kind of knew me as me and just didn't really think too much of it. So it was something that was more personal and just kind of like I said, between me and the guy I'd seen in the mirror.
So Steve, can you tell us a moment when you knew the work that you were doing was making a difference for yourself?
Wow. I recently started a boot camp here in Prescott, Arizona for women. It's called the Adventure Boot Camp for Women. And I don't know if there was a particular moment, but lately I've been getting feedback from the ladies, whether they're telling me face-to-face or sending me a message on Facebook or through email. And just hearing some of the struggles they faced and how this camp is helping them overcome them really lets me know that I'm in the right place doing the right thing, and it's just so congruent with who I am and what I believe in. And, so I think, lately that's what I'm really starting to notice, this whole thing that is happening. So I knew I was making a difference, but now it's like, wow, it's really happening. I'm on the ground and making it happen here in Arizona.
Well, I meant for you as an individual, after you had that first realization, how long did it take to see that it was worth it?
At first I was doing it for pretty much physical reasons. So I was doing it to look better. I wanted to get those, that ripped six-pack abs and, look good and, turn heads at the beach, which didn't make much sense after a while because I never go to the beach. So at first I would say my reasoning was really shallow. So the switch really hadn't flipped yet. It took about, I'd say, a good year and a half after my initial physical transformation for the actual emotional and mental part of it to take over. And that's when it kind of hit me that I was onto something much different and something that could last. Because my first 18 months was up and down. My weight was up and down. I would go from exercising vigorously and eating healthy, and then a week later I'd be back to drinking and using tobacco and just all kinds of stuff. So it took about a year and a half after that initial moment, that initial, oh crap, I got to get myself into shape moment, to begin the actual transformation on the inside.
Now, Steve, what do you tell people who say, I'd like to make a change, but I don't have any money, I don't have any time, I don't have any resources? What you did.
I just posted on Facebook at my boot camp that the amount of time I spend working out comes out to about 4% a week. And that's if I'm having a full week. That means I don't miss a workout, I do everything I'm supposed to do. Comes out to, give or take, about 7 hours a week. And that comes out to less than 4, or right around 4%, if you do the math. I think anybody can find 4%. So when it comes to the time, you can make the time. I mean, there's people out there who are able to watch 5 hours of television a day, but then as soon as it comes time to work out, they suddenly don't have it. When it comes to money, that could be an issue, but walking is free. I will tell people that. There's also, things you can do like the P90X program that I did. That cost me, with equipment and everything, about $200. And the fact that I used it on and off for a couple of years, it was well worth it. But like I said, walking, if you can get, there's gyms out there that have, discounted memberships, things like that. So, if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to make it happen. It's just getting to the point where you want it bad enough. And that's kind of what, why I wrote my book and why I do the coaching I do. Because, if you can kind of get past the excuses, you can make it happen.
Steve, what about the resistance exercises that you use your own body weight for?
Exactly, yeah. In fact, I just bought a book. I got it right here. It's called Pushing the Limits, and it's all about body weight exercises. So, in order to do a push-up or a lunge or, holding plank or squats, deadlifts, all those things, a lot of times, especially like when you do a one-legged deadlift, you don't need body weight. So there's a lot of things you can do on your own, and that's a great point you just brought up.
Well, I guess the point is you don't need the equipment necessarily.
No. You don't need equipment. You don't need a gym. A gym can be nice if you do want to use the equipment, but if you're just trying to improve your health and fitness, your body is all the equipment you need.
Steve, do you find that you're learning a lot more about yourself than you bargained for when you began?
Oh my goodness. Yes. The more I work with people, I primarily work with women, and the more I get to know them, the more it reflects back onto me, just the things that I struggle with, and I see that they struggle with the same things that I do, and just people in general. But like I said, I work primarily with ladies, and it's what a journey this has been. But yeah, I had no idea. Like I said, when I ordered that P90X back in 2008, I just wanted to get some abs and look good. I had no idea that several years down the road that I'd be part of being part of my community as a fitness leader and helping people live more fulfilling lives, because that's what it's all about. The whole pretense of the boot camp is, we're there to change lives, not just dress sizes, which I think a lot of trainers miss that. They just want to help people look good and get into their skinny jeans, but man, there's so much more to health and fitness than the clothing size that you have. So that's what I didn't bargain for. I didn't realize just how holistic my approach was going to become, how shallow it was in the beginning, and just how broad it is now, to where I encompass total wellness in everything I do.
Now, do you find yourself being more of a coach than a trainer? So giving people the advice versus just working with them in the gym?
It's about 50-50, because the ladies come in. They come in at 5:30 in the morning. They come in at 8, and we start training. And I have to show them the exercises. So the training is there. I'm there to help them do the exercises. But once they're actually working out and doing the moves, well, then the coach takes over, and then I'm doing the encouraging and the motivating and the inspiring, and just being there and guiding them. And then when I get home, the first thing I usually do is I send out a newsletter and I congratulate them, and sometimes I'll send an individual email. If I see somebody do something right, I'm quick to send them a message and say, hey, just want you to know, you really cranked out some great push-ups today. And I let them know that. So it's about a 50-50 thing there, because I think you can't just coach and you can't just train. It's where I blend the two that it really seems to work well with what I'm doing right now.
Now, what do you send them home with so that they stay motivated? Do you send them home with exercise routines or what they learned in the training camp?
For the ones who are not returning, what I'm working on now, and it's a project I began, which is going to be online training, where I'm going to do online videos, going to go out and record videos, so they can do a subscription to this internet service, and they can continue working out. But for right now, I don't have anything for people who aren't coming back to camp. So that's why I'm eagerly working on that, because I can't train everybody at the boot camp. Not everybody can come. There's people who because of time constraints or their schedule, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm working now to create something where if you can't come to my boot camp, there's still going to be a way I can help train and coach you, because I love what I do, and the more people I can help, the better.
So if somebody can't come but really wants to start, will there be something for them?
Yes, I would say within the next few months I'm going to have an online training program where they can log in, create an account, and there will be videos there for them to do. And it's going to be based on functional training, which is moving the body the way it's designed to move. A lot of body weight stuff, minimal to no equipment. I mean, there'll be some equipment they might want to get, maybe a kettlebell and weight, a medicine ball, and maybe a pull-up bar. But aside from that, a lot of it's going to be based on just stuff you can do in your house, or you can do at a park, and workouts that help you get fit, healthy, and strong. Which is my new philosophy is all about fit, healthy, and strong. And so it's something that's in the works right now, and I'm just slowly getting it off the ground. And thankfully I want to do a lot of the videos outside. We have amazing scenery where I live. It's very diverse. I could be in I'm 90 minutes away from snow-capped mountains and 90 minutes away from, the desert, and I have lakes and all kinds of stuff. So I'm really excited about this. I just got to get it rolling.
Steve, if someone's just starting, what might be some good exercises for them to do?
First off, depending on what their level of fitness is, but for some people it might just be walking. It might be turning off the television for 30 minutes and just walking around your neighborhood. And I know right now it's starting to get cold in some places. I'm kind of blessed to be here in Arizona, but There's places, where if it's too cold, maybe get on an exercise bike or just find something to get your body moving. There you can do push-ups, you can do squats, things that obviously within your physical limits, but there's a lot of stuff you can do. But I'm a huge proponent of walking. I believe that, walking is one of the healthiest things we can do, and so many people can do it. It's low impact. Like I said, you don't need equipment to do it. You might need a jacket, but aside from that, you can get out there and move your body. But push-ups, squats, lunges, things like that. If you have a pull-up bar, start doing pull-ups. I know a lot of people can't do pull-ups, but you can put a chair underneath you and use one of your legs to boost yourself up. So there's ways around that.
So if someone is not able to do the pull-ups, they can use a chair?
Yeah, you can put a chair or something sturdy underneath you, and then as you do the pull-up, you use one of your legs to kind of boost yourself up. But you got to make sure it's a stable chair. You don't want to,
of course,
falling off, crashing down in your living room. That can't be good.
Now, do you recommend that people work with their doctor, get a physical before exercising?
Yeah, especially people over the age of 50 or 60, you want to get checked. But I mean, most people, if you're young and you're already healthy, I mean, you shouldn't need a doctor's letter to start doing push-ups and moving your body more. However, if there's certain things like heart disease, diabetes, asthma. There are certain things that, as an adult, if you have some issues, go see your doctor, get clearance, and find out what you can and can't do. The same thing holds true if you have certain nagging injuries. If you've got a bad knee, a bad shoulder, back issues, things like that, yeah, go get checked. If you're, otherwise healthy and fit, I mean, it comes down to the common sense rule. Before I train somebody, I have them, fill in a little form, and I look for the big warning signs, heart disease, things like that, But, for the most part, moving your body more, just keep it simple.
Steve, are there various forms of exercise that are more appropriate for your size and shape? If you're healthy, I mean. So if you're tall, might something be structured around that versus someone who's shorter and can't necessarily do the pull-ups?
It just depends on where you're at. Like, if you can't do a pull-up, there's other back exercses you can do, like, you can do, bent over rows with dumbbells, things like that. But for the most part, it really doesn't matter if you're tall or short. I'm only 5'4", so, I don't work out any different than somebody who's 6'5". I mean, except I probably don't play as much basketball as somebody who's 6'5". But aside from that, I pretty much do the same things. When somebody is, heavily overweight and obese, they might want to back off and just start with walking or light exercises. But generally speaking, I believe in a balanced approach, which, it's a mix of resistance training with, cardio. And what I mean by cardio, anything from jumping jacks to walking, to brisk hiking, to biking, skating, whatever it is that gets your heart rate up, and preferably things that you enjoy. I mean, if you enjoy playing tennis, well, that's a workout. Exercise doesn't have to suck. You can actually do things you enjoy. One of my biggest hobbies is hiking. So, and I count that as part of my, 7 hours of exercise per week.
So, Steve, you recommend, you said it was 4% of your time?
That's what I use is 4%. And it's actually less than that. If you dedicate 30 to 60 minutes 4 to 5 times a week, that's a great start right there. Even 3 days a week. Sometimes people have this idea that they have to work out, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week to get results, and you don't. The more I learn about fitness, the more I realize that less is more. Even the P90X program, which I absolutely love, some of the workouts are up to 90 minutes a day. And what's funny is they've actually come out with P90X3, and apparently the workouts are 30 minutes now. Because people know, and we're getting to know, that you don't have to work out that long and hard. And a lot of times people think that they're not doing enough, when in fact, when it comes to getting healthy and losing fat and all that, most of it's through nutrition anyway. The exercise is simply there to help increase your metabolism, get your heart rate up, build some lean muscle and things like that. And you only need 30 to 60 minutes a day. Anything over that is overkill in my book. There's professional athletes who need to train more than that. The average person, if you're training 5 to 7 hours a week, you're golden.
And the extra time might be harmful to some people. Might be hurting yourself versus getting the benefit from the 30-minute workout. Longer doesn't mean better.
It doesn't. And if your workout ever does go over about 45 minutes to an hour, it should be light cardio. So let's say you do a hard workout. You work out with weights for about 45 minutes. You don't just go and run sprints then for another hour or go for a long, hard run. You want to if you want to take a light walk around your neighborhood, that's fine because your heart rate's slower and you're primarily in a fat burning zone. But not to get too technical, bottom line is an intense workout should be no more than about 30 to 40 minutes. And then, like I said, at my boot camp, our workouts are an hour long, but 10 minutes of it or so is warm up, and about 5 to 10 minutes is cool down. We only work out hard for about 40 minutes because that's all you need. And you're right, you can hurt yourself. It can cause injury, overtraining. And here's one that a lot of people don't realize is that when you exercise really, really hard, you increase this chemical in your body. It's a hormone, and it's called cortisol. And that actually tells your body to store fat. So you could actually be trying to burn off fat and putting your body in such a stressed and overtrained state that it stores fat. And that's why you have these people who are working out all the time and hardly eating, and they can't figure out why they're not losing weight. And here I am, eating probably twice as many calories, working out half the time, getting results because, it's about working out less and just, working out smart and hard, not just hard.
Steve, it's about paying attention to your body.
Definitely listen to your body. We are, whether we want to accept it or not, we are experts, and we know if it's time to work out or not. We know if it's time to take a break, and that's where you got to kind of get in your own head and say, you know what? Sometimes it's not an excuse. Sometimes you don't work out because there's a reason. If you're super sore, back off. Or if you're sick, back off. People ask me, should I work out when I'm sick? Heck no. Let your body recover. You're not being weak or being lazy by giving your body a rest. I mean, this is a fitness journey for me. And if I'm sick, you better believe I'm going to sit on the couch and not working out. If I'm super sore, that's my body telling me, hey, you've done it. That's you're making a really good point there, Rob. Like I said, it's about taking care of your body, not abusing it.
Now, Steve, do you get involved with any kind of visioning exercises before you begin your training program?
Not really, no. No, we just train.
Well, I've just been reading a lot about the athletes and how they do visualization exercises, and then their performance is that much more improved. I'm reading a lot about it in football now, and I guess it's spread from soccer to football. So yeah. Well, bringing that up, I do sit back and I guess you're right. I visualize how I want the workout to look. I visualize the layout of it. In fact, I'll tell the ladies, it's like, this looked a lot better. Sometimes we'll do a routine and it's new and it just doesn't work out as well as I envisioned it. So yeah, when I say, hey, it looks great in my living room, but now that we're here in the gym, it looks a lot different. But yeah, I do kind of visualize how the the layout's going to be, and I see how the women are, going to progress through it and things like that. So yeah, it's not something that I think I intentionally do. I think it's just part of how I'm wired, that I'm always visualizing and I don't use the word daydreaming because that's not it, but I do visualize and kind of project into the future how I want things to be. Steve, do you feel like you've been an inspiration in helping to grow your community? Do you find that others are springing up in your path that are helping you and helping others?
I believe so. I think that just because of the way my personality is and the way I've, been wired is that I believe my purpose is to help inspire people because it's just what my heart tells me to do. And from the feedback I get from people, that's one of the main things that I get back is that, hey, you've really helped inspire me to make changes. And that to me is what I do this for. That's what I get up for every day, is knowing that what I do makes a difference. And, I'm pretty new in the community. I moved to where I'm living right now about 6 months ago, and I'm getting more and more involved in the community. I was able to do the warm-up for, they had a diabetes walk, and I was the trainer that came to warm everybody up, and I was able to give them some kind words and, things like that. And just getting more involved in the community and helping people in a place that I absolutely love get fit and healthy. It inspires the heck out of me, and I think that just spills over, and people see my passion and see my enthusiasm, and I think that it just helps them to be inspired, because I can't motivate anybody, but I can inspire. And that's sometimes people confuse the two. And inspiration is that wonderful warm feeling you get when somebody or yourself gets onto an idea and you suddenly start believing you can do something. And then motivation is just having a good enough reason to do something versus not doing it. So I think that just because of what the gifts that God's given me, that I'm able to use those to help inspire people. And, it's about them, not me. I hope I make that clear.
Steve, can you tell us a little more about the walk? How'd that turn out?
It went really well. In fact, I think there was about 500 people there, and people coming out from the community to walk and show their support and also help, raise money is a big thing, because, there's people who are not waking up healthy every day, and I believe it's up to us and, to try to help others, do that. I consider myself to be on the front lines of healthcare. I believe that prevention is where everything is asked. That 75% of the illnesses that we face in our nation right now are contributed to behaviors that we can control. And if there's anything I can do to help knock that 75% down, I'm more than happy to. So things like the diabetes walk, that's huge. That's people getting out in the community to help others. There were kids out there who have diabetes and things like that. And my gosh, they were out there walking and showing, that they can do it. So yeah, it's amazing.
That sounds amazing. We have about 4 minutes until break time. Can you share ways people can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Most commonly is through Facebook. I have my Facebook is, if you want to go to it, it's facebook.com/ and then it's SGT, STEVE, coaching.com, so Sergeant Steve Coaching. So Facebook/ or facebook.com/ Sergeant Steve Coaching. And then, if they're local here in the Prescott area, you can go to PrescottBootcamp.com. But those are and then I have a website, SergeantSteveCoaching.com. So SGT, STEVE, Coaching, COACHING. I think I spelled that right. I never had one.
Do you have an email?
Yes.
Email address?
SGT, STEVE, fitness, FITNESS, @gmail.com. So SergeantSteveFitness@gmail.com.
So they can reach you easily on Twitter and Facebook?
Twitter, yep. I'm also at Sergeant Steve Fitness on Twitter.
And how can people reach you the most easily?
Through Facebook.
Through Facebook?
Absolutely. Yeah, my Sergeant Steve page. And they can look me up, SGT, STEVE, and my page will come up, and maybe even my main personal page, which is fine too. I connect with people on both. But I'm most active on Facebook. I've found that it's been an amazing way to connect with people. And that's how you and I met. So.
Yes. Now, if people have any questions about starting their own routines at home, can they contact you for some advice and guidance?
Absolutely. I am more than happy to help people with questions. I mean, it's so if they have a question, message me on Facebook. Shoot me an email. If you have some general questions. Because another thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a YouTube video series called Sound Off, where I take questions and answer them in a video format and publish them on a local website here. So, yeah, if you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, because a lot of them are common and tend to be, ones that a lot of people face and struggle with, and I'm here to answer them.
So they'll be able to find those on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm also on YouTube. Yeah, and a lot of it is, Sergeant Steve Fitness, SGT, STEVE Fitness, like I said, and then sometimes it's coaching. Eventually, I think I'm going to get all my URLs the same, but it's funny. I continue to rebrand myself, and as I rebrand myself, my name changes a little bit. I've always started Steve, and sometimes it's coaching, sometimes it's fitness, sometimes it's this, that, and the other things. So.
But if they search for Sergeant Steve, they'll
find me all over. Yeah, SGT, STEVE, they'll find me all over the place.
So there's no video yet, but it's coming.
There actually is some videos of me answering questions on my YouTube channel. A lot of good advice already out there. I have a couple of videos. One of them, the most popular one, is sit-ups hurt my back. What is something else I can do? And I show people alternatives to sit-ups for improving their core strength. I have one on there for making push-ups harder. A lot of nutrition questions. So yeah, the Sergeant Steve Fitness YouTube page is up and running like a champ. So.
Now, do you have any upcoming events where you'll be? Maybe shows or gatherings that people can come and talk with you there?
Not yet. That's still down the road. For right now, they can just find me at my boot camp, mostly online.
Okay. So there you have it. We'll have the links in the forum so that you can connect with Sergeant Steve Rosen. Right now we're entering break, but when we come back, you'll be able to type your questions into the chat room or call us and ask Steve questions then. So stay tuned. When we come back, you can ask your own health-related questions, and Steve will answer them the best he can. So stay tuned.
And now a word from our Awakened Radio sponsors. Do you have health and medical problems the regular medical system cannot seem to figure out how to fix? If the answer is yes, then check out rifeenergymedicine.com. That is Rife, spelled R-I-F-E, rifeenergymedicine.com, for a new way to approach many of your health problems. rifeenergymedicine.com. Check out Thrival with DonnaDevane.com. Find out all about the author, radio show host, life teacher, and coach Donna Devane at thrivalwithdonnadevane.com. Be sure and check out her new Kindle books at amazon.com. Awakened Radio is also brought to you by the Awakened Store right here at awakenedradio.net/Awakened Store, where you can find handcrafted jewelry, Native American dream catchers, smudge kits, medicine bags, hair feathers, books, audio guided meditations, and a whole lot more. Check us out at awakenedradio.net/Awakened Store.
Welcome to Simply Conversations. I'm your host, Rob Ragazine. The show airs every Sunday at 9 p.m. East, 8 Central. Each week we have a new conversation exploring the life of someone who's listening to the wisdom within their hearts. Join us as we open the door for these uplifting and courageous people. Their work has helped to transform their lives, and it ultimately helps to support, heal, and grow their communities. Listen to our discussion and be inspired. Feel free to take part in our chat room or on the phone. Ask questions and chat with our guests. This show is brought to you by simplyconversations.com. Okay, we're back. If you have a question for Sergeant Steve Rosen, you can call us at 334-649-7204 or at Awakened Radio to your Skype. And you can reach me at simplyconversations.com or intuitionbyrob.net. Now, Steve, we already have some questions in the chat room. One of them is your thoughts around supplements. And we already talked about eating properly. So I guess in addition to having a well-balanced diet, what supplements might you recommend or know about?
Okay, supplements is something huge to me because my bottom line is this: the big four that I believe people need for health and fitness is nutrition, exercise, quality sleep, learning how to handle stress and unwind. And part of nutrition, you have to eat healthy. However, I have found that there are certain supplements out there that can definitely help you with energy, performance, things like that. And if people want to look at the nutrition line that I recommend, I'm going to give you another link, but it's SGT, nutrition.com. So SergeantSteveNutrition.com. I personally use and recommend a brand called Isogenics. I've spent the last couple of years looking at all kinds of different products out there, just looking at them, analyzing them, looking at the ingredients, things like that. And this past summer, I decided to try Isogenics. People kept telling me about it. I did it, and my performance went through the roof. I felt great. Continue to use them. Continue to recommend them to my clients. My clients are getting great results. Now, my clients are also exercising, eating healthy, getting sleep, things like that. So it's not like the supplements are doing it for them. The supplements are simply filling in the gaps where the traditional American diet just can't, and it's providing them good, clean nutrition that's allowing them to get results. So when I talk about new supplements, obviously meal replacement sometimes because we don't have time to eat. So I'll have a protein shake for breakfast, things like that. I also it's funny, I'm a nutrition guy. I don't eat enough vegetables. There's very few green vegetables I like. So instead of forcing myself to eat stuff I don't like, I'll take a green supplement. So, I'll drink my greens versus eating them. Things like that. Fish oil, that's another big thing too for heart health and just getting your body healthy fast. So, there's certain things out there. Do I believe in like weight loss pills and miracle things and stuff you sprinkle onto hot dogs and eat and not lose, and you'll lose the weight without exercise? No, that's a bunch of what. So, certain supplements, but there's some out there. But if you want a good brand, I recommend Isogenics.
Now, Steve, do you recommend juicing and making smoothies?
Absolutely, juicing is great. Now, when people do it, that's all they do. Like from the movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, the guy juiced for over a year, and that's all he did. I wouldn't go that far. However, if you get fresh fruits and veggies, or even frozen fruits and veggies, and you thaw them out and juice them, that can be a great supplement to your regular eating. Because, like I said, a lot of times we just don't get enough nutrients, eating what we eat. And for me, I also eat a lot of fruit because, like I said, I don't like that many, too many vegetables, especially green ones, but I do like fruit. So, I get a lot of my vitamins and nutrients from that too.
And for filling in, you recommend any particular vitamins that are required?
I don't actually take vitamins because the supplements I use have vitamins in them. Plus, I take like a green supplement, a fruit supplement. So I'm getting my vitamins directly from the foods. However, if you're living north of Florida or Arizona or Texas in the wintertime, vitamin D is a good one because a lot of times we're not getting enough vitamin D because we're not getting enough sunlight. And that's why you have people. I used to live in Minnesota, and from November till February, I was pretty blue because I wasn't getting enough vitamin D and wasn't getting that sunlight. So vitamin D can be a really good help. Also, maybe some vitamin C because that will help you with your immune system and things like that. So, vitamins D and C can be important in the wintertime.
You bring up a good point there, Steve. What do you recommend for people who are stuck in the northern climates at this time?
Move. No, like I said, vitamin D. There's actually people out there. I guess there's companies out there. I've never really researched it, but they actually sell lamps that can help with people who suffer from seasonal. Seasonal affective disorder. I know I struggled with it in Minnesota, and I didn't realize it until after like my last winter. I'm like, wait a second, I feel great in the summer and I feel lousy all winter. I wonder if it's a lack of sunlight. And I was just telling my wife yesterday, we went hiking. It was 70 degrees, and I said, wow, we're probably not going to get that this year. We're going to be able to go outside and hike year round. We might have to drive down the mountain to do it because it gets cold up here. So if you can, try to get, maybe work on a greenhouse. I don't know. Try to get some sunlight. But I mean, there's places, like Buffalo, New York, they're not going to get much sunshine between now and March. So you got to do what you got to do. So, take vitamin D. Obviously, check with your doctor, nutritionist, or chiropractor first. But, vitamin D can be a big help.
Steve, what are some good exercises they might do in the winter inside while they're stuck inside?
Body weight exercises, pushing, pulling, so push-ups, pull-ups if they can, squatting, lunging, bending, reaching. There's so many different things. There's so many home fitness programs out there too that people can do. My gosh, and some are for beginners, through advanced. Another thing they can do too, another great thing even for beginners is yoga. There's some great yoga DVDs. A company called Gaiam, they have some great ones. I know Rodney Yee is one of the yogis that instructs, and they have some great ones. So just doing some yoga can help, move your body too. Yoga's become a very important thing to me. I don't always work out hard, but sometimes I just do yoga. But just try to find ways to move your body. Some people, might want to get a stationary bike or even a treadmill. I had a treadmill when I lived in Kentucky because I couldn't go outside and hike, but I was able to, walk on my treadmill inside. Got rid of that thing when I moved to Arizona, that's for sure.
Steve, we had a question about knees and I guess how you might support them better.
Knees, a lot of times knees can be a real challenge. And that's where, if you want to start doing resistance training and bodyweight training and you have bad knees, I highly, highly encourage you to hire a trainer or some type of physical therapist to show you how to properly move your body. A lot of times knee pain can be alleviated by simply learning how to do a squat or a lunge properly. I've had women at my boot camp who've had knee pain. I show them how to properly do a lunge or properly do a squat, and they're like, oh, wow, it doesn't hurt anymore. So sometimes it's just as simple as learning how to do the move. But if you've got bad knees, you want to go with lower impact stuff. You don't want to be jumping around and doing stuff like that because it's just going to make it worse. But, if you can handle walking, bicycling is a great low impact. And if you've really got knee problems, and some of it might be due to gravity, you might have, weight issues, go find a pool and do stuff in a pool. Pools are about the best way to get a low impact workout. And there's resistance training in a pool. You try to walk laps in a pool, you're resisting. You try to move your arms and tread water, you're getting resistance work. So, just find ways to move your body.
We had another question about taking B12 supplements. I don't know if you know anything about those.
Yes, B12 is vital in helping the body produce energy. Like I said, some people think that vitamins give you energy, and they don't. Vitamins don't have any calories, so they can't give you energy. But what they can do is help the body regulate how it burns calories and provides energy. And yes, B12 is another really good vitamin. And it's one that's water-soluble, so you can actually take more. A lot of times you take more than the RDA. And the RDA, you'll see a supplement for B12, and it's, 10,000%. You're like, oh my gosh, is that going to do anything? And no, because it doesn't stay in your body, so it's non-toxic. So yeah, B12, you see people who will start getting sick or things like that, and they'll go to their doctor and get a B12 shot. B12 supplement can be great to help, boost your energy. And it's not the kind of energy where you're going to be bounced off the walls or anything like that, but just helps your body better work and function.
Steve, does your family support what you do?
Yes, and that's a blessing for me because me and my wife both had our transformations together, and now she's actually attending boot camp. And, I got a couple of little kids, and, they still like their candies and cakes and treats. And, one thing I've not become is a food cop. So, my kids will have their treats and stuff like that. But me and my wife really support each other. She really, she cooks healthy. I mean, it's nice. She made spaghetti with, grass-fed beef and things like that. And, she really goes above and beyond to make really good, healthy food for me and the boys, and what a blessing that is. And that's another struggle some people have to have is they'll start their health and fitness journeys and they're on their own, and if their significant other or their kids or somebody doesn't support them, and might even do the opposite and make fun of them or harass them for their choices, and it's really sad because positive peer support is huge, and the more it comes from the people closest to you, the better your chances of success are.
Steve, I know we talked a little bit about this earlier, but what advice might you give someone who just hasn't begun doing anything yet?
Sit down and find out why you want to change. That's where I always ask people to start. You've got to know your why. If your why isn't strong enough to get you off the couch and moving forward, then no matter what you do, it's not gonna last. You've got to have a darn good reason to exercise, whether it's to live to be 100 so you can watch your great grandkids grow up, so it's that you don't get cancer like everybody else in your family because of their choices. Cause like I said, a lot of disease is based on choice, and you may see, everybody in your family smokes and they're all getting lung cancer, and you're like, well, maybe it's time for me to quit smoking. Well, you got to want it bad enough. And so that's where I always tell people to start. You got to figure out you either need to want or need it bad enough. And then either hire a trainer, purchase some type of good home fitness program, attend a boot camp, things like that. But if you don't know what you're doing, hire somebody who can help you do that, because there's professionals out there. The health and fitness industry is exploding because so many people now are finally realizing, hey, I actually have the power to change how I feel and how I look and add years to my life and improve the quality of my life. So we are out here to help you. There's wellness coaches, health coaches, fitness coaches, trainers. We are here to help. This is why we do what we do, because we are the front lines of health and fitness in this country. It's not the nurses, it's not the doctors. We are hoping to prevent people from ever having to go to them, because doctors and nurses are there to save lives. We're here to prevent them to even get there. That's my feelings. These doctors and nurses are overworked. Let's give them a break. Let's quit smoking. Let's start eating right. Let's get our butts off the couch and move a little more. I mean, you don't have to go and run a marathon to be healthy. Just do something, anything. But another beginning thing, walking. Just get up and walk. Walk, move around. Do you realize if you spend your 10-minute an hour break walking, you'll walk 80 minutes a day at work? 80 minutes a day. Start adding up. I'm not a mathematician, but it starts adding up a lot. That's almost an hour and a half a day. If you spend your coffee break or your cigarette break just walking, 80 minutes. So just think about that. The little things that add up.
And park your car far away.
Yes. Yeah, leave the close parking places for the people who know. Yeah. Park way out there. Unless you live in Minnesota, then I understand. It sucks to walk across the park.
Well, what you're talking about brings up an important point as far as healthcare goes. What kind of changes would you like to see there?
More on the prevention side. I mean, there's an old story out there where people keep falling off a cliff, and we send down one ambulance, and then we figure, wow, we can send down 2 ambulances. Then we get a helicopter to come in and get the people out faster, and the people keep coming over the cliff and hitting the bottom, and then we build a hospital at the bottom of the cliff, and then we hire all these doctors, and then we figure out a way, because it's getting expensive, we got to pay for it. Somebody needs to jump up and say, hey, why don't we go to the top of the hill and find out why people are falling off? And that's where the problem is. It's in prevention. We don't have a healthcare crisis in this country. We have a sick care crisis. We wait until we get sick and diseased before we take action, and that's when it is too late. So it comes down to people going to the mirror and saying, what can I do today to make myself more fit, healthy, and strong? And it comes down to that. If we did that, 75% of the illness and disease would vanish. And that right there is what is overburdening our system. And a lot of people don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that they have this mentality. And I used to have it myself. I used to have a 6-pack of beer, and then I'd have a big wad of tobacco in my mouth. I used to chain smoke. I used to drink. I used to have bacon and beer for dinner. And guess where I was headed? I was headed for the funeral home, and I probably would have cost a whole bunch of people a lot of money along the way, because I would have probably racked up some serious, doctor's bills. It came down to me being accountable and saying, I'm not going to be a burden on this system. And it comes down to each person saying, you know what? Why don't we take care of ourselves? Because there are people out there who do need the health care. There's kids out there right now who wake up every day who are sick and diseased, who by no fault of their own need health care. There are people who get sick and it had nothing to do with anything of their choices. They just got sick. That's where those health care dollars need to come from. We should not have a can sitting in a gas station with a picture of a kid on it who needs a transplant, money for a transplant. That's ridiculous. That to me is unfathomable in this nation. So it comes down to, let's take care of the people who can't take care of themselves, and the ones who can, take care of yourself. Just do something for your health. You don't, like I said, you don't have to run a marathon. But my gosh, swap the Pabst Blue Ribbon for water now and then, and you might start feeling better. I know I did. Because Lord knows I used to be the poster child for bad choices. So this is coming from experience. Like I said, I used to look like I was pregnant with twins because I ate and drank a bunch of crap. So there we go, rant over.
Okay, well, I'm sure people were listening, and they can be inspired, hopefully motivated.
Yeah.
Now, can you remember a particular conversation that inspired you to believe in yourself, or was it just you waking up and saying, hey, I have to make these changes?
That's a good question. When it comes to my own transformation for health and fitness, it was pretty much me inspiring myself. However, when it came to me getting into the career field of helping inspire others, several people just said things along the way that just made me realize maybe this is something I should be doing. Like people just saying, you really have a way of connecting with people, or wow, you really have an inspirational style about you. And when people said that about me, it made me realize that I couldn't, it wasn't just about me. It was about helping others transform. And it's funny. I wrote a book on health and fitness motivation, and the book is what keeps me on track. And in a way, helping others is what keeps me going, because I can't tell people to do one thing and not do another. I just posted online a couple days ago. It's been about 2 weeks, up until Friday, but it's been a couple weeks since I really had a hard workout. I kind of gave myself a break, and it's, I'm not gonna sit there and tell people they can't take breaks either. But when it comes to the inspirational part, I think people just told me that along the way, hey, you know what, you have a talent, you have a gift, and use it. So when people said that, it definitely helped me believe in myself, because my gosh, we all need to have self-esteem and believe in ourselves. But man, a little encouragement goes a long way, and I think it's huge when we can support and encourage each other. We got to tell ourselves in the mirror, but nothing feels better than me patting you on the back and saying, man, you're doing good, Sarge. That just makes my day.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Steve, we're seeing some comments in the chat room about sugar. What do you recommend people do when it comes to sugar? Obviously, they don't want to give it up completely, but...
Yeah. Well, I live by a 90-10 approach. Lately it's been about 75-25, but it's going back to 90-10 tomorrow. But anyway, I believe if you eat healthy 90% of the time, healthy, lean meats, healthy vegetables, fruits, healthy grains, beans, things like that, potatoes, healthy, minimally processed foods 90% of the time, the other 10% of your calories, don't worry about it. But when it comes to sugar, we love our sugar, we love our sweets, and that's a real challenging thing. What I try to tell people is that the main place where sugar really gets us is in liquid calories. Soda, coffee with sugar in it, Gatorade, fruit punch, all kinds of things out there that taste good, and you can suck down 200 or 300 calories of sugar in a sitting, and that just sends your body into overdrive trying to burn off those calories. It cranks up your insulin. When your insulin gets all cranked up, your body starts storing fat. It's just not a good thing. So if the first place I would start is liquid calories, switch to water if you can, and then when it comes to things like cookies and cakes and things like that, just limit them to 10% or less of what you eat. And then replace it. You cannot take sweets away. There's some people out there who try to live a sweet-free life, and what a miserable thing that must be. I have found that freeze-dried fruits have become a really good friend of mine. They make these a company called Just Tomatoes, and they make these freeze-dried fruits, and they are just amazing. And they're not dehydrated, so not the squishy kind. They actually maintain their size and shape, and they're crunchy and sweet. And they're a great way to get that sweet craving without cranking up your blood sugar and affecting your results. Fruit, people. Have your fruit. Not fruit juice, but fresh fruits, frozen fruits, freeze-dried fruits. Enjoy them. People say, I might get fat if I eat fruit. I have never seen somebody with a gut that was caused by apples. So enjoy your fruit, please.
And you can freeze grapes or other small fruits and put them in the high-speed blender and make your smoothies. Then you don't need ice.
That's what I use every day. I use organic frozen strawberries and organic frozen blueberries. I put them in my shake, and my gosh, it's delicious. And then, like I said, I eat freeze-dried cherries and freeze-dried grapes. The freeze-dried grapes actually maintain their size, and they're crunchy, and they actually taste kind of like the old grape Tootsie Pops. They have that really good sweet grape flavor. And it's fruit, it's good for you. You're supposed to have fruit. There's a reason why fruit tastes good.
You're supposed to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said,
so you had mentioned the grass-fed beef before. Do you focus on that?
Yes, I eat grass-fed as often as possible. It's just that the cows are treated more humanely, but they're also fed a diet of grass, which is what they're naturally meant to eat. A lot of the meat you get in the United States is from a feedlot, and they eat all kinds of stuff that they're not designed to eat, and then they get pumped full of all kinds of antibiotics because they get sick from eating stuff they're not supposed to eat. They're in these cramped conditions, and the meat just suffers. And grass-fed, especially if you can find a local place. There's a place here in Prescott called Kelly Beef, and it comes from a ranch here in Arizona, and the meat is just so clean. My wife will get the grass-fed beef, Italian beef, like a ground beef, and she makes meatballs out of it for pasta. And when these meatballs are cooking in the oven, the grease that comes off of them is just as clear as baby oil. It doesn't have that yellowy look. It's really clean. It's higher in omega-3 fats, which are the heart-healthy kind. And it's just overall, it just tastes better. It's cleaner, and it's just better for you. And yes, it costs more, but like I said, I look at prevention as my health insurance. I look at everything I do. I try to keep myself out of the hospital, and grass-fed beef is one of the ways I do that.
And do you recommend that to the people that come to your boot camp?
Yes, I absolutely do. Grass-fed beef. And then, also I mentioned organic fruits and veggies. If you can, try to get them organic. It's not just about the fact that they're pesticide-free, but, organic has been shown. It's kind of debated right now, but, they may have better nutrients just because of the fact they're taking better care of them. But that's still, that's one of those things. When it comes to nutrition, there's so many things that there's 50 studies that say organic isn't better, and there's 50 studies that says it is. I just decided to play it safe and go organic. And also, too, when you're going with organic fruits, veggies, grains, things like that, they haven't been genetically modified, which is a whole different, that's a whole different thing that I'm not even going to jump into. But I believe in playing it safe. And when it comes to organic, I know it's safe to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've come to the end of the show, Steve, so can you share your links with us again?
Absolutely. If you want to look, I wrote a book on health and fitness motivation, which if you've liked what you've heard me talk about, that's what the book is about. It's about holding yourself accountable, but it's not about, like I said, I'm tough, but I'm not judgmental, because the bottom line is I've been there, I've struggled, I know what it's like. I still don't like exercise for the most part. It's still a struggle for me to get up every day and do what I got to do, because exercise is tough, and I'm not, there's these trainers out there who wake up and act like they love fitness and eating healthy, and I'm like, my gosh, either you have a gene for that or you're lying, but for me, I still got to, pep talk myself just to do a workout. So I wrote a book that helps people find the motivation and create a fit and healthy lifestyle. It's called Operation Motivation. You can find that at my link, which is www.sergeantstevecoaching.com, which is SGTSTEVE coaching.com. And also you'll find my Twitter links, Facebook link, all that stuff there.
And the book's on Amazon too.
Amazon, BarnesandNobles.com, anywhere, iTunes. So, any place you can buy a book online, it's there.
And
probably once in a pawn shop somewhere too. You never know.
And people can reach you on Twitter and Facebook.
Yes, and just send me questions. Like I said, I get questions from people and things like that, and it's really inspiring when I have somebody who I don't even know say, "Hey, I've read your book and it's making a difference," and that's why I do it. I mean, I put everything. I spent a little bit over a year writing that book. I was on the road for my previous job for 5 months straight, living in hotels for 5 months. And I was able to write spend a lot of my time of that writing the book and just really put my heart and soul into it. And even now, it's still such a good fit for my personality and what I believe in. And I believe it can change people's lives. It really can. It changed my life. Writing the book changed my life, and has kept me on track ever since.
That's great. Any final words of wisdom?
I just tell people you're worth it. A lot of times, you look in the mirror, you might be in a place where you might be really overweight or really out of shape, and you think, how do I do this? Where do I begin? Just begin one foot in front of the other. First off, go to the mirror and just tell yourself you love yourself, and that, you know what, you're worth it. Your family's worth it. It's worth it to set an example for your kids, for your friends, for your families, because you have no clue who you might inspire, and it's worth it for you. You don't have to live a short and diminished life. You can do something about it. So I would tell you, care enough about yourself to do this, and then find somebody. If you don't know what you're doing, hire somebody who can. Get yourself, a DVD and just start someplace and just work from there. You don't, like I said, you don't have to run a marathon. You just have to. Sometimes it might just be walking 5 minutes, and the next day you walk 6. The next day you walk 7. But you know what? You're doing something every day to make yourself better. Maybe you just decide 1 day a week you're going to eat healthy. Then you're going to eat 2 days a week healthy. And next thing you know, you're eating 6 days a week healthy. And if you're doing that, my goodness, you're going to get results. Just do something. That's all I say. Something positive. One step at a time.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. Thanks for coming on and giving out such great information.
Well, Rob, it's been an honor, and I really appreciate being part of the show. It's been awesome, and like I said, if it isn't obvious, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I really care about people, and that's why I do what I do. So it seems like you're the same thing, same boat as me, Rob. And when we talked on the phone earlier, it just sounds to me like we're both, our hearts are in the same place. So thanks for putting me on the show.
Well, thank you very much.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye. Now,
if you're like Steve and you'd like to come on the show, you can contact me at simplyconversations.com and read all about what it takes to be on the show. You can fill out the guest questionnaire that you can download, or you can contact me and ask for the form, and I'll send it to you, and we'll have you on as a guest too, whether you're like Steve and have a fitness regime, or you're into health and healing in some way or shape, then please do contact me. Now, if you'd like to be a sponsor of this show or the other shows here on Awakened Radio, you can provide us with a 30-second audio about your business, and that'll be played 3 times during the show. And our shows play every 4 weeks of the month, every week of the month, so it'll play at least 12 times each month. And when it's archived, it'll be replayed every time it's downloaded, because we leave the ads inside the shows. So it's a great way to get your message out and heard on both online and on iTunes. So please do take a second to think about that for your business. If you're so inclined, if you've enjoyed our shows, donations are always greatly appreciated. We're here for no cost to you. Largely, we're host and listener supported, so please find it in your heart to click the donate button at the top of one of the screens, and it can be small, it can be large. We're not asking for your grocery money. You can find my book on Amazon called Your Life Counts, and it's all about learning to follow your heart and following the guidance within your life path number. And again, that's called Your Life Counts by me, Rob Ragazine. And it's an opportunity to connect with a lot of the wisdom you've been hearing about tonight and on past shows here on Simply Conversations. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Please stay tuned for the show next week, and have a great week. Thanks for listening.
You won't catch us sleeping through the fight in life. We're all eyes open, showing our inside and light so bright. We are awakened. Come and join our love, it's so right. If you could feel what we feel now, you'd be a leader filled with might. 'Cause